Assalamualaikum and a very good morning I wish to all of you. Welcome to our forum for this week. As well we know, pandemic COVID-19 is a current big issue, which enable to think about the topic that we had highlight and we are trying to solve the issue together by sharing beneficial and interesting idea and talk, which it will be delivered by our guests. Today, we would like to highlight a topic that is quite interesting to be discussed on, which is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic focus on a review on maritime sector in Malaysia. I am very sure that every one of us has our own opinion and thought with topic. Before we proceed our forum, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Shafika binti Ismaili alias Ismail, number metric 293-864. And I would like to introduce our panelists today. Our first panelist is Mustika binti Bisnari. Second panelist is Nur Aida Dayana binti Chedin. Third panelist is Nur Wadihah binti Jamaluddin. And our last panelist is Farah Najwa Alia binti Alawi. So, before we start our topic today, let me explain our topic. Coronavirus disease, or better known as COVID-19, started in 2019. This disease has affected many operations around the world. This COVID-19 is one of the infection disease caused by the coronavirus that was just discovered at the end of 2019. The first case of this issue was at Wuhan, China in December 2019. They also have several types of COVID-19 variants that occur during this pandemic. Among them are Omicron, Beta, Delta, and Alpha variants. All types of variants are transmitted through variants mean either from contact of human breathing. The people who are easily infected with this coronavirus today are the elderly, children, and those with critical illness such as heart problem, chronic respiratory problem, and cancer. COVID-19 also has a high impact on all parties, individual communities, and the national economy. Effect on individual, where the individual health will be affected and thus a high risk may cause death. Recorded death through the COVID-19 issue are increasing every month. Individuals are also limited in movement due to keeping a distance from being exposed to this infection disease. The effect on society is that they experience unemployment because in a business there is a need to limit the number of employees. So the employer is forced to lay off employees due difficult in paying employees wage due to the worsening economy rate. The effect on the economy is the effect on the market, on finance, and the fall in the price of goods. However, on this forum, we're just focusing on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on maritime sector. So, before wasting time, let's hear our opinion about problem definition and the aim of the impact of maritime sector in Malaysia. From the first invited panel one, Mustika binti Bisnari. Welcome.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you to Shafika for being this forum moderator. First of all, my name is Mustika binti Misnari. I am a full-time student in event management in University Utara Malaysia. My metric number is 296140. I would like to give our opinion about the problem definition for this section. The article describes the impact of COVID-19 which impact the maritime sector in Malaysia. There are four main sectors of the maritime, which is maritime transportation, maritime harbour, fisheries, also marine products, shipbuilding, and other maritime transportation. For the shipping sector, according to the data given, Malaysia import and export both are decreased as the current country imposing lockdown and restricting movement. This caused many shipping companies suffered heavy losses. The main problem is the prediction that many jobs would be lost as a result of pandemic downturn. Usage of automobiles, industrial activity, shipping and transportation in the oil and gas sector has been reduced drastically. The other problem is the article also mentioned about staff reduction and 50-step in cost reduction include a salary cut to 50% for higher management. There are also a problem in the fisheries sector which many small-scale fishermen were most affected. The cost of fish offered to the center individual also decreased to 50 to 70% lower than before. That means their fisheries area laborer in Malaysia had lost their employment because of slow interest in fish. As a result of pandemic that happened, another problem is of course maritime tourism are affected. As we know, Ireland is the most famous maritime spot, for example, scuba diving, snorkeling, cruising, and many more. This will lead to losses as the Malaysian Hotel Association chief has estimated about 60% losses, and also small business were bankrupt and many hotel booking were cancelled. The hotel worker also lost their job. Lastly, the aim of the study is to see and to examine overall impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on four maritime sector based on the review given in the article. Thank you.
Thank you, Mustika. We strongly agree about your explanation. Apparently, the topic that being discussed is getting more and more interesting. Let's move to our second panelist, Nur Aida Dayana binti Jadid. What is your opinion?
Thank you to the moderator. Okay, so hi everyone. Before I go further and explaining my point of view, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nur Aidariana binti Cik. My matric number is 295194. I am a full-time student studying at University Utara Malaysia for Bachelor in Banking with Honours, and you can call me Diana. It is such a pleasure to be here with all the other panels, and I would like to thank our moderator for inviting me to this forum today. And I hope you have enough discussion on this topic, which is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. And my opinion is based on what I have been researched. First thing first, I would like to explain what is the definition of population and sample. A population is a collection of all individuals about which information is desired. The individuals here are usually people, but could also be schools, cities, agriculture, pet dog, field, day, or month. A population is every member of a group, and it is the opposite of a sample. And the next one is a sample. A sample is a subset of the population. A sample refers to a smaller, manageable version of a larger group. It is a subset containing the characteristic of a larger population. Samples are used in statistical testing when population size are too large for the test to include all possible members or observations. And regarding the article of the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia on maritime sectors, we can conclude that it is a sample because as stated in the article, we can clearly see that according to the report of the Star Malaysia, maritime tourism, or also known as marine tourism, is referring to the activities comprising of sea transportation such as cruising, beach activities, scuba diving, snorkeling, fishing sport, and other recreational activities that occur in the marine environment. And there is a sample size of 56,299 workers in the hotel industry was taken and found that 2,041 staff were laid off, while 9,773 were asked to take unpaid leave, and 5,054 got pay cuts due to the pandemic. And that's all from me. I pass back to the moderator.
Thank you, Diana, on your explanation. That was a great point to be said. So, to our third panelist, Nur Wadiha binti Jamaluddin, what is your opinion?
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you to Ms. Shafika for being to this forum moderator. My name is Nur Wadiha binti Jamaluddin, and you can call me Wadiha. I am full student studying at University Utara Malaysia for Bachelor of Muamalat Administration with Honours. Thank you for having me as a panel. Okay, let's move to my part, which is I will provide an explanation of the type of data used in the article. The article that we choose is using a secondary data, which the sources of data are from government published article, journal, website, and newspaper. As mentioned in the article, the World Health Organization (WHO) declared the COVID-19 outbreak a pandemic based on assessments and the increasing number of cases globally, 1,808 times, with 144 countries affected. as of early April 2020. Next, the data collected from Bernama in Malaysia. The first confirmed case of COVID-19 was recorded on January 25, 2020, involving 3 Chinese nationals. Responding to these cases, the COVID-19 patients were treated and isolated at a hospital in Johor Bahru. These confirmed cases were considered under control as all business and operations were conducted as usual. The first COVID-19 case involving a Malaysian was recorded on February 4, 2020. On March 16, 2020, the Movement Control Order (MCO) was announced by the Prime Minister of Malaysia following the increase in the number of positive COVID-19 cases. The MCO was effective from 18 to March 30, 2020. The number of positive COVID-19 cases during the date of the announcement was at 553. What the moderator mentioned earlier, the article was reviews about the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic on maritime sectors, specifically shipping, fisheries, maritime tourism and oil and gas sector. Malaysia depends greatly on the seas to facilitate its trade while providing lots of economic opportunities to the coastal communities. Many economic activities are carried out at sea, and the sector has also provided a potential source of employment and career opportunities. The collected data from a global network of automatic identification system (AIS) receivers shows a depletion in world shipping activity from the month of March to June 2020, when the most severe restrictions were enforced. This restriction produced a variation of mobility quantified, for example, between -5.62% and -13.77% for container ships. Although the shipping sector is regarded as essential service and was allowed to operate, Malaysia Ship Owners Association (MASA) chairman Datuk Abdul Haq Mat Amin mentioned that shipping companies suffered heavy losses during the MCO, with an average potential short-term loss of between 15 million and 30 million for normal operation due to the decline in revenue. However, the implementation of MCO has drastically reduced the usage of automobiles, industrial activities, shipping and transportation. This impact was immediately felt by Malaysia's oil and gas sector. The drop in demand was estimated to be more than 30% in April 2020. Lack of physical demand for crude oil quickly resulted in the plunge of oil prices. Besides that, the marine fisheries industry in Malaysia contributes extensively to the national gross domestic product (GDP) as well as to the national economy in terms of income and foreign exchange. The data collected by Department of Fisheries Malaysia 2017, the total export value of fish and fishery products in 2020 to 2017 were 3.157 billion or 738 million. From a global perspective, the fisheries sector is highly driven by international trade. Therefore, the closure of some country borders severely affected the import and export activities. Furthermore, the lockdown imposed by most countries affected by the pandemic had reduced the demand for fresh products, especially from restaurants, hotels, and other tourism attractions. And yes, this is the most challenging challenge Malaysia has ever faced in this 2020. I believe that this is simply a little bit of information that has been gathered from the sources that have been mentioned earlier. Thank you.
Thank you, Wadiha. It seems we are running out of time. So, we move to our last panelist, Farah Najwa Alia binti Alawi. Welcome.
Thank you to our moderator today. My name is Farah Najwa Alia binti Alawi and my matric number is 293668. I'm a full-time study at University Utara Malaysia in Bachelor Muamalat Administration. In this part, I will explain a little bit about variables and scale of measurement. Okay, so variables can be classified as qualitative and quantitative. quantitatives divided into two categories, which is discrete and continuous. The first one is qualitative variables. Variables defined as variables that have distinct categories according to some characteristic or attribute. For example, religious preference and geographic locations. According to the article, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia stated that as of yearly up April 2020, the highest cases recorded was in the United States of America, amounting to 115,344 cases, followed by Italy and Spain at 110,574 and 104,118 cases respectively. This shows that the countries which have been cited are classified according to increases case increases cases. The next one is quantitative variables. Quantitative variables are variables that can be counted or measured. Quantitatives has two categories, which is discrete and continuous. For example, the variable age is numerical, and people can be ranked in order according to the value of their ages. Other examples of qualitative variables are heights, weights, and body temperatures. Regarding to the article, their recovery cases and fatality rate are numerical, and people can be categorized according to their level of health. Examples of discrete variables are the number of cases that has been represented on the articles, which include total cases and active cases. Continuous variables, by comparison, can assume an infinite number of values in an interval between any two specific values. Temperature, for example, is a continuous variable since the variable can assume an infinite number or values between any two given temperatures. According to the articles that given, deflation in world shipping activity are the continuous variables, which include negative 5.62% until 13.77% are container ships, 2.28% until negative 3.22% are dry bulk, negative 0.22% until 9.27% are wet bulk, and negative 19.47 until negative 42.77 are passenger ship. So we move to the second part, which is scale of measurement. In addition to being classified as qualitative or quantitative, variables can be classified by how they are categorized, counted, or measured. This type of classification, variables are categorized, counted, or measured uses measurement scales, and four common types of scales are used, which is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. The first measurement called the nominal level of measurement. The nominal level of measurement classifies data into mutually exclusive categories in which no order or ranking can be imposed on the data. According to the article, Malaysia hosts the Strait of Malacca, one of the most important shipping lanes in the world. This strait is considered to be among the most heavily used straits for international navigation, with more than 80,000 ships traversing these sea lanes annually, carrying an estimated 25% of the world's traded goods. This has allowed Malaysia to place itself firmly as a major world transshipment hub with a regular port of call for different types of vessels, such as VLCC, tanker vessels, LNG carriers, cargo vessels, container vessels, bulk carriers, passenger vessels, and fishing vessels are among vessels that navigate the strait in accordance to the analysis of the vessel characteristics, reporting to the ship reporting system. The next level of measurement is called the ordinal level. Data measured at this level can be placed into categories, and these categories can be ordered or ranked. For examples of ordinal data are letter grades A, B, C, D, F, and so on. Regarding to the article, the ordinal measurement is level of control order. For example, started with MCO, which is movement control order, CMCO, which is conditional movement control order, and RMCO, which is recovery movement control order. This shows that the process of control order are ranked by the level. The third level of measurement is called the interval level. This level differs from the ordinal level in that precious difference do exist between units. For example, IQ tests do not measure people who have no intelligence. For temperature does not mean no heat at all. According to the article, the data says that in conditional movement control order does not mean all the activities are allowed. The CMC of PACE, which took effect on May 4, 2020, allowed the majority of economic sectors to begin operations subjected to strict standard operational procedures (SOP). However, business and other recreational activities that involve mass gatherings were not allowed. The final level of measurement is called the ratio level. Examples of ratio scales are those used to measure height, weight, area, and number of phone calls received. The ratio level of measurement possesses all the characteristics of interval measurement, and they exist through zero. In addition, true ratios exist when the same variable is measured or on to different members of the population. That's all from me. Thank you.
Our panelists have explained their respective opinion related to our topic today. Finally, we come to the end part of our presentation. We would like to say thank again to all panelists for active participation. Hopefully, for this forum will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.